He lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Squidward, I love this old pineapple. We've had a lot of good times together.
He flips burgers for minimum wage, gets screamed at by a squid, and his best friend is a rock.
Bun, then patty, followed by ketchup, mustard, pickles, extra onions, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and bun, in that order.
SpongeBob, I need that order of 6, sir.
It's not just a folder!
And yet, he's always smiling.
Coffee!
Good one!
Is SpongeBob SquarePants the most emotionally well-adjusted character on television? Or is he so mentally unstable that he doesn't even realize he should be spiraling? Today, we're going to psychoanalyze SpongeBob. Yes, seriously. Let's start with the most obvious trait, toxic positivity.
That tickled!
Now, don't get us wrong. Optimism is a good thing. But when you're constantly cheerful in the face of danger, rejection, humiliation, and soul-crushing work conditions, it starts to look more like denial than hope.
Ready, I'm ready to go to work.
SpongeBob doesn't just find the bright side, he surgically removes the dark side and shoves glitter in the wound. Mr. Krabs overworks him. I'm ready.
Well, SpongeBob, you ready to get back to doing what we do best? You to work an extra 17-hour shift tonight.
Squidward openly hates him. Hi, Squidward.
Hi, Squidward!
Gets fired from his only job, has a mental breakdown, then starts singing to jellyfish.
You're fired.
This isn't resilience. It's emotional suppression with a ukulele soundtrack. Psychologically, this behavior can reflect what's called toxic positivity, the belief that one must maintain a positive mindset at all costs, even when it's harmful or inappropriate. It's a defense mechanism. Instead of facing disappointment, sadness, or existential dread, the brain just cranks up the cheer.
Gainful employment, here I come. I'm
Or in fear of
SpongeBob
Dr.
might be the
Negative.
perfect cartoon for kids, but if he were real,
Shrimp, this is
we'd
the
be
best day of my
concerned.
life.
People who constantly avoid negative emotions often do so because they don't know how to regulate them. It's like emotional whack-a-mole. Push down the sadness, and it pops up later as anxiety, obsession, or burnout. And in SpongeBob's case, it shows up in weird ways. He latches onto people with an intensity that borders on obsessive.
Night, 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 night.
He needs others to like him, especially Squidward, who's clearly not interested.
Oh, it's not so bad, Squidward. Now we buddies and do everything together. Forever. Together forever.
He projects happiness onto everything, even when it's falling apart. And when his sunny image cracks, like in Employee of the Month or Rock Bottom, he doesn't cope.
There might be a new face on the wall this month.
He melts down, completely.
Please, don't tell Mr. Krabs about this. It'll hurt my chances of winning the... No! How could I have let the quality of my...
So what does this tell us? SpongeBob's optimism might not be proof that he's well. It might be the opposite, a kind of emotional survival mechanism for someone who can't handle sadness or rejection. Which raises the question, is SpongeBob happy? Or is he avoiding everything that might make him feel human? Let's talk about SpongeBob's identity, or more specifically, his lack of one. Because the deeper you look, the more SpongeBob starts to feel less like a person and more like a personality. He doesn't grow, he doesn't change, he doesn't question anything.
Goku, Gaga,
He just exists, forever enthusiastic, forever 12 inside.
Squidward, I love you no matter how many times we smash your...
And that's a red flag. Most people develop a stronger sense of self over time, based on relationships, values, goals, boundaries. But SpongeBob, his whole identity revolves around being liked, being useful, and being happy. He's not just trying to live his life, he's trying to perform it. We see this in his obsession with being the perfect employee, even though he works at a fast food shack for a literal sea hoarder.
Today's the beginning of the judging for Employee of the Month.
Don't you know that award is a scam?
Mr. Krabs gives you that award, so you'll work hard.
We see it in his relationship with Squidward, a man who clearly wants nothing to do with him, yet SpongeBob constantly seeks his approval.
Relatively sure. But are you... Last chance to change your mind, Squidward.
I'm not writing a letter to a figment of your imagination.
But Squidward, when Santa comes, you'll be the only one without a gift.
SpongeBob, how many times do I have to say it? I don't believe in Santa Claus.
Squidward, you missed him. He was here, just like I said. He gave us all presents. He was jolly and he had a beard. His nose was big and he had rosy cheeks. He was friendly and kind and Santa-ish. Oh, his belly was small, but his nose was huge with Christmas joy. Let's say I know this guy who may have something to do with the oyster.
You mean you know the guy who did it? Oh, this is great! You and I can go turn him in, and then I'll get so much sleep, I'll be gorgeous!
Actually, I'm just talking hypothetically.
You mean you don't know who did it?
Well, no! Squidward? Good morning, Squidward. Squidward can help us.
No, he can't.
Please, Squidward.
It's Sunday! A good neighbor doesn't bother me on Sunday!
He needs to be liked, even by people who hate him, especially by people who hate him.
We just wanted to...
Get out of my house!
That's not friendship. That's emotional obsession. In psychology, this behavior mirrors traits found in dependent personality types, where someone bases their entire self-worth on the approval of others. They overcompensate, they lose boundaries, and when they sense rejection, they panic. SpongeBob's over-the-top niceness may not just be being kind. It could be a sign of fear-based behavior, like he's terrified that if he stops being happy and helpful, people will abandon him. This idea gets even weirder when we look at his emotional maturity.
Now!
Despite working a full-time job, owning a house, and managing a pet, SpongeBob acts like a child.
Hey, my old teddy walrus. This stuff...
He throws tantrums, cries easily, gets overwhelmed by responsibility, and plays with jellyfish like he's still in preschool.
Patrick, look, I caught a rare breed. A glowing white little... Oh! Unstop my...
That SpongeBob is such a crybaby.
He's even scared of the dark and clowns.
May have taken you all morning, Squidward, but this is a meal fit for a king. Oh!
Now sure, it's a cartoon, but if we're playing this straight, this could suggest arrested emotional development, a stunted ability to process or react to the world like a functional adult. There's also something eerie about how inconsistent he can be. In one moment, he's hosting dinner parties with Squidward and wearing a tie.
All right, hurry up, you cheap slop slingers. Get the dinner on the table.
In the next, he's sobbing because he dropped a spatula.
SpongeBob, guess what?
He was a good little Krabby.
He flips between extremes: joy, rage, terror, shame, with very little middle ground. In psychology, that's often a sign of emotional dysregulation, which can stem from unresolved anxiety or poor modeling of emotional control early in life. The result? A grown sponge with the emotional toolkit of a cartoon toddler. So let's recap. SpongeBob might not be just cheerful.
Hey, Gare, how about some leapfrog?
He might be emotionally stuck, using positivity to avoid rejection, identity performance to stay liked, and childish behavior to avoid facing the adult world around him. And that brings us to the next part, because when all of that breaks down, what's left? So far, we've seen a picture forming. SpongeBob isn't just cheerful, he's compulsively cheerful. He's not just friendly.
Well, according to this t-shirt, it says my best friend is right.
He's emotionally dependent.
No, I've forgotten how to sing.
And he's not just innocent, he's emotionally unequipped for adult life.
Oh, now I know I'm an adult because I've been ripped off.
defective pants.
Which brings us to the question we've been circling around this whole time.
How can I watch the movie with all this blubbering going on out here?
Oh, Mr. Krabs, I'm not ready for long pants.
If SpongeBob walked into a therapist's office, what would they actually say? Let's break it down.
Tar pits? Oh! I'm sticking!
First off, his relentless optimism.
Don't make eye contact. Now to soothe my frayed nerves.
While entertaining, would likely raise red flags for toxic positivity.
Make sure you return that bathroom key to my desk or you're in big trouble, mister.
He avoids processing negative emotion, defaults to forced cheer,
Coffee!
Good one, Pat.
What are you lads doing?
Squid says he doesn't like Krabby Patties.
and denies his own discomfort until it explodes in the form of emotional meltdowns or breakdowns.
Bye. Oh, Squidward! I'm sorry, Mrs.
Second, his behavior shows strong signs of dependent personality traits.
Squidward, you missed him. He was here, just like I said. He gave us all presents. He was jolly and he had a beard. His nose was big and he had rosy cheeks. He was friendly and kind and Santa-ish. Oh, his belly was small, but his nose was huge with Christmas joy.
Let's say I know this guy who may have something to do with the oyster.
You mean you know the guy who did it? Oh, this is great! You and I can go turn him in, and then I'll get so much sleep, I'll be gorgeous!
Actually, I'm just talking hypothetically.
You mean you don't know who did it?
Well, no! Squidward? Good morning, Squidward.
He relies heavily on external validation, especially from authority figures like Mr. Krabs and from emotionally unavailable figures like Squidward.
Is this any better, Squidward? I made this one with my...
Squidward, you're supposed to be watching him. Don't ruin this dinner for...
What do you mean?
Mr. Krabs gives you that award so you'll work harder for no extra...
He seems to have no internal compass for self-worth.
'Cause I work harder. You could win it too if you tried harder.
Oh, for what? To get my face on the wall of shame?
Third, there's a pattern of emotional dysregulation and developmental delay. Despite living alone and functioning independently, his emotional responses are that of a child. He cries easily, panics in social situations, and lacks basic coping strategies for stress, rejection, or disappointment. Finally, his identity appears externally constructed. SpongeBob doesn't seem to have boundaries or goals of his own, only roles he fills based on what others expect from him.
Boyo, you gotta help me sort me loose change!
But Mermaid Man!
But Mermaid Man. But Mermaid Man.
But Mermaid Man! But Mermaid Man!
He is a worker, a friend, a neighbor, but who is he when no one's watching? All of this suggests a complex psychological profile, not one that's dangerous, but one that's deeply imbalanced. If SpongeBob SquarePants were psychoanalyzed, his therapist might write something like this. Client presents with excessive emotional dependency, persistent avoidance of negative affect, and signs of arrested emotional development. Displays unrealistic optimism, fixation on external validation, an identity shaped by perceived social roles rather than self-defined purpose. Coping strategies limited to distraction, performance, and fantasy. While not pathological in a clinical sense, behavior reflects significant emotional immaturity and potential for internal distress beneath the surface. In short, SpongeBob isn't dangerous, he's not broken, he's just stuck in a smile he can't take off.
Our imagination.
Stuck in a role he doesn't know how to quit.
Hey, coming up!
First bun, then patty, followed by ketchup, mustard, pickles, extra onions, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and butter.
And stuck in a world where being happy is more important than being real. If this felt like your therapy session in disguise, you might want to subscribe. And tell me in the comments, who else should we psychoanalyze next?